Good evening and welcome to another episode of Dansu and Dragons. I'm your host and Dungeon Master, Mike Rovner, and today, as always, we are joined by our players, Laura, Venus, and Erica. We're changing production up a little bit this week, and we're only doing a two-camera shoot because we only use that one middle angle at the very beginning of the show and never anywhere else, so we're adjusting and streamlining our production.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm sure they absolutely cannot tell.
Before we get started on the recap, I'm just going to pass something out to you guys that was given to us by a friend of the show.
Friend of the show!
Friend of the show!
And just show these up here.
Aren't they cute?
Oh my
Some dice in cute little bags.
They're my own bag, but that's even better. Thank you.
I assume we can mention like her name, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thanks, Abby.
Thanks, Abby.
Love you, girl.
Oh my gosh.
I love these bags
These are
too. They're
so
like.
pretty. It's got a
Sorry.
little
Can you open it now?
octopus on it.
Yeah, I think. Well, now that we're on camera, we can open
Oh my god. Oh.
it. I was there when she wrote these notes, so I don't know what mine says.
Ooh. Personalized messages.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, these are really nice.
Oh,
Aw.
this is so nice, Abby. Thank you so much. Wow.
I mean, aw.
What?
Okay.
Cool. Oh man. I'm so excited.
Oh my god.
Dungeons and Dragons, bringing friends closer together, even when they're not at the table.
In awkward silence, while we're just sitting here like, ooh, staring at our hands.
Also, I think she was looking for a. Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
absolutely.
I
thought
figured.
I told you this already. Like, I'm in.
You'll never know it was on these books.
I don't know what's in those notes. All right.
Yay, dice! I'm so excited. I have my own and they're red.
They're
Oh
so
my God.
similar to my
Yeah.
other dice too.
They match mine.
Like
Look at
now
all
I
this
have
green.
14.
So much green to. The good thing about little sets like that, they're good to keep in the tiny bag, so you don't like mix them up.
Almost identical.
These
Well, they're
feel
all
so
different.
nice.
I know.
Pretty beautiful green.
Look at that.
Very
I
green
could
dice.
just stuff this with like polyfill and just use this as a stress ball.
Ooh,
It is comfy, isn't it?
I mean, I'm actually just gonna use it for dice.
these
But.
really are almost identical. Wow.
Did you get them from the same? Oh wow.
I got this
Oh, no,
is
they're
mine.
different.
That's Chessex.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are.
These are the edges are softer,
Mhm.
and the color is slightly lighter. This has a little bit of red in it.
Okay. Well then, do you guys remember what happened last time we were here filming?
Why don't you enlighten
It
us?
was 6 weeks ago.
Oh
so
yeah.
no.
All right. Well,
There's some
last
dragons
time
and
we were
dungeons,
here,
probably.
I'm going to start off with a brief recap, especially
Yeah.
for those of you who can now finally actually hear my voice more clearly.
Thanks.
Last time we were here, I goofed on the audio setup. And because of that, for the sake of this production, I have brought on a professional colleague to monitor our audio levels. And we want to thank him very much
Thank
off
you.
screen.
Thank you.
His name will be in the credits. Good guy. It's Greg. I
Thanks,
appreciate him
Greg.
so
Nice
much
guy.
for this. Cannot express how much I appreciate this. And so,
One, not two, not three, but
that's the
four,
top of the
five.
recap. You can hear me.
Yay.
Yay.
Apparently, I cannot run a production while also being on camera, so taking efforts. And if you want to
Nice
continue to
fitting.
fund our ability to have this assistance, here's our PayPal donation link right down there.
Oh my god, all my dice fit. Yes.
And our various Twitter accounts you can follow us for the show on.
Yeah.
It's right under you guys because of the way there you go. It's in the black box on screen underneath you guys.
You don't like that?
You've seen the show, you know where it is.
That's true.
I guess.
It's to my side.
I don't ever
Just watch
come
Mike,
in
it's on
that
the other
early.
side.
Actually, like I always have problems with the stream really early, and then I catch it like 7:03. We're already talking.
Fair enough. Anyhow, last time on
so
Dansu and
excited.
Dragons, the party, after solving the blighted mystery of the Wood of Low Illusion, found themselves unexpectedly on another plane of existence, overlaid over the material realm, the Fey Wild. One of the members of the party, Gita Jewelsoul, as played by Laura, is from a settlement in the Fey Wild, so she was not too worried about this. The others were struck by the amazing sights before them of overwhelmed nature and ambient magic.
One moment. I forgot my kazoo. I'm gonna be right back.
How did you do that?
I don't know. It's over here.
You are the
I'll be right
worst
back.
bard.
Continue. I'm coming. I'm a coming.
Anyhow,
Very important.
after on their travels, they encountered a satyr, got into a brief rock-off, and wound up invited to a party in the Feywild, in which things happened as people lost track of time in the literal sense. When what seemed like an hour turned out to be days, it was Aembron, as played by Venus,
Trust me, it felt like days.
who managed to help pull the others out from the ensorcelled festivities.
That's a good word. Ensorcelled? Sorry.
It is. It's a wonderful word. It covers so many things involving magic.
Yes.
And so, regaining their cart and regaining the owl bear left to them by the guardian of the Lowwood, the three of them piled on, with Eris Briarwood, played by Erica, unfortunately exhausted by her time suffering in the party.
Suffering.
Oh my
That was
god.
fine. I'm all good.
Well, yeah, because you're Fey.
Yeah.
God, I hate real life parties. Continue.
I know that feeling. I know it well.
Yeah, I wasn't in character just then.
But to rest and recover from this ordeal before heading back to the city of Southgate, Gita offered something when she realized where they were. They were near where her family's village is, and had asked the others if they wanted to rest there before heading back to the city of Southgate and finding their way back onto the material realm. And we return to play now on the unpaved road of just massive fields alongside the now scintillating colored forest. It's unnatural colors.
No,
to
no,
those-
it's another good word.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
So
trying
we're
not
like-
to do my
We like words.
the haunted house in its haunting visit.
You're not
Like
trying
I
to
was
do
doing
the
word
adjective
then
noun.
word.
Hauntingly haunting the haunting visitors.
Oh God.
It's okay. We like these SAT words. Continue.
This is gonna go back to the Mr. Robert thing, I guess, isn't it? This is just gonna go right back there.
No,
Okay,
continue.
continue. And so it was, upon the lumbering gate of the large, feather-covered bear-like creature with the beak of an owl called an owl bear upon which you ride,
Very creative.
that you are left to make this decision.
Oh.
Well, you've
Okay.
offered. I forget if you.
Did I actually offer?
I don't
the
remember.
You
last-
suggested, oh, my town's near here if you guys want to rest there.
You guys want to see my bedroom?
Oh my god, I have so many posters. I mean, she probably does.
She probably does.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Let's go.
You're still passed out, aren't you? Like,
No, I think I'm awake. And
You're awake. You have 2 levels of exhaustion.
Super hungover. Got it.
And Erica, remember what you said you wanted to do this session
oh.
about not
that's-
speaking so softly.
What?
About speaking?
Oh, Erica.
Oh, you mean I have to project?
Okay.
Yes. You
Oh.
you said you need to be reminded of that.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll try.
Breathe with the diaphragm.
Okay.
This is
okay,
going really
I'll try.
well.
It is. This is all
Okay.
I
getting
can't
tight.
go against my nature.
You can try. You got to practice.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm doing it right now.
Hey, you want to go to my house?
Yes, let's go to your house.
Okay.
I guess
go.
we're going to your house.
We go to my house.
All right.
Oh, gosh, my back. It hurts. My bag is so heavy. What the hell's in my bag? What is
Oh yeah,
this?
you got among your things that were left just attended at the party as you were leaving.
Did get pretty big.
The large burly figure who was the earth elemental, who acted also as a space elevator melding into the ground to lead you out of the underground cavern.
Oh yeah, that was really trippy.
Yeah. You were given I forgot to mention, you were given an extra sack of things, of party favors.
Party favors?
And this is something we did while we were leveling everyone up off camera last time.
Hi.
I
But
didn't
each of
realize.
you got a few trinkets, which I have completely forgotten. So if you could please refresh my memory, that would be wonderful.
Okay. I'll go first.
Cool.
I think you're listed on the first page.
Yeah, I did. I was just making sure.
Okay.
What is it?
I got a bronze mirror with Medusa on back. This is weird. I don't want to look at myself.
Okay.
A shard of obsidian that's always warm.
Okay.
It's nice and toasty. Keep that in my pocket. Warm,
Okay.
warm my fingers.
Is that
I
for
think
real
we
life,
just got
Erica?
2 things each, right?
Yeah, I just got 2
Yeah.
things.
That's it. I have
Okay.
some other things.
The
somehow.
hat.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
got 3 things?
No, she already had the shard of obsidian.
Oh.
I did?
I think you did.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think I did.
Because I remember saying dragon glass last time too, so.
Sorry.
Can I talk about the things that I also have in this bag that somehow ended up
When you
in my
stole.
possession?
The things you've already had?
I guess.
That she acquired.
Things that just happened to be in this bag.
Sure.
Wow, what a coincidence.
How did they get there? I don't know.
It would be nice if we could find that
an
bag
empty
from the
wine
first
decanter.
session with my sword in it.
An indecipherable treasure map. Merfolk scales.
Yeah, that was some of the treasure you found in the last adventure, wasn't it? Some of those things
At
were.
the party. No.
Oh, those were. That's the stuff that got spread amongst all of you.
No.
That's just me.
She stole it.
Oh yeah, you were stealing.
Steal it.
Oh yeah.
Given to me.
Yeah, by your own hands from somebody's pockets.
You have some
That's
things.
stealing.
Okay.
Okay.
5-finger Fey discount.
Yeah. I like that.
Is that all?
No, I also have this really
jeez.
cute pointy hat.
Pointy hat?
Pointy hat.
Pointy
It's got,
hat.
it's got stars and moons on it.
Yes, it does.
It's
would.
too small.
Is it,
but
are we
it's
going, like,
cute.
Full Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
with the hat?
Fantasia.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay.
That's all I got.
That's all.
That's all Eris
That's
has.
all. And I have to
between-
follow this now.
Don't worry. I
You
only
have to
2
follow the
things.
one who has the sticky fingers.
So I got a silver wolf whistle and a gnomish lantern with a mechanical fairy.
Oh.
It does sound cute, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a green feather,
Cool. I like
I guess, and which I assume Gita immediately put in her behind Of her ear or
course.
something. And then I got a spyglass, which if I look through it, just shows a storm.
Well, it shows the world, but there's a storm overlaid.
Yeah, that. There's a storm, and that's
not go there.
well, I don't know how anyway. So
What can you tell me about my lantern?
nothing. What do you mean?
Well, it's
Like looking through the spyglass?
gnomish stuff. I don't know. You're a bard. You know things. I don't know.
Do I know anything at work? Could I
it's
tell her anything
gnomish.
about the lantern?
If you take a look at the lantern and roll perhaps
I will take a look at the
Arcana
lantern.
or History.
Okay. Arcana.
Is there anything cool that you can tell me about this lantern?
I am very good at Arcana.
All right.
Okay.
And it was a
so-
canary, not a fairy, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I wrote.
Oh.
I have fairy written down, but
Yeah.
I can switch that.
Okay. Arcana. What do I
Maybe
roll?
I just
It's a
didn't hear
d20
you right.
plus your intelligence modifier, and if you're trained in the Arcana skill, your proficiency bonus.
Okay. 13
Nice.
plus 4. Do I add the wait? You said intelligence?
No,
It's because it should
just-
already be added up
yeah.
on the skill section.
Okay, so just my Arcana then.
Yes.
Okay. So 17.
17?
Yeah.
You know that device is the creation of probably a rock gnome tinkerer, specifically to be used in mining. It is supernaturally lit, and the canary serves a dual purpose of creating a warning sound after cave-ins to help find whoever had the lantern, and perhaps acting as though it were a real canary, but without being a real canary in the event of gas leaks in the mine.
Cool.
Okay. So if we are anywhere near a
Super-
gas leak, we'll be fine, I guess.
Naturally lit. It's lit.
Cool. Would I know anything about any of the other items as we're searching through
If
them?
you search them, yeah, you can make some checks on each item if you so desire.
Okay, can I just check in general everything that they
Well,
have?
if you're doing a general arcana check,
Yeah.
roll it, and we'll go through each item.
No, it's just in my face. That's all.
Okay. 16 plus 4, I got a 20.
Lovely. Okay, first item.
Oh, my other
I
one.
gotta roll for each thing.
No,
now?
I'm just asking for a list of them so I can say some stuff.
Okay.
Bronze mirror.
Bronze mirror. That bronze mirror is definitely not from the Fey Wild, nor is it from the prime material plane. I think
Interesting.
it is from another plane of existence.
I can't tell what plane though, right?
Not offhand, no.
Okay. All right, next.
But you definitely know it's one of the upper planes and not one of the lower planes.
All right.
There is a, shall we say, brief celestial air about its presence.
Okay, that sounds
Well then.
Next.
The shard of obsidian.
Do I have to roll every time?
No, I'm just using this 20 to cover everything. And
Okay.
this shard of obsidian cannot tell anything about this shard of obsidian. It's warm. Maybe it's supernaturally blessed, or it's a piece of a creature's horn, but
Okay, cool.
can't really tell anything about that one.
Silver wolf whistle?
That silver wolf whistle is definitely from the material world and has something, and may actually be from the lands to the west of Dark Verdance. And not quite a wolf whistle, but a warg whistle. Wargs are kind of like bigger, wider-mouthed, aggressive creatures that are similar to wolves that are usually kept by goblinoids.
Cool. All right. What else did you have?
That's it.
How about
I
you?
got the
Any
other
more? Eris?
What else did you grab from the party?
The decanter.
Oh, the wine one?
Yeah.
Isn't that the one that just refills on its own?
Yeah, it's a wine decanter
Yeah.
that refills.
Okay.
We
That's
use
what I
that
figured.
all the time.
What do we fill it with?
Our characters are
Wine!
just constantly drunk.
Yes, please.
obviously. Anyway,
It's definitely a magical item that just refills with wine a couple times a day.
okay. And that's all I know about it.
We're
That's
never
all I know about it,
thirsty.
right?
That's all you know about
Okay,
it.
next.
The
stuff.
treasure map. Indecipherable treasure map.
Yep, it's an indecipherable treasure map.
Okay.
It's an indecipherable old damaged treasure map.
Okay. Anything else?
The merfolk scales.
Oh, yeah. They're just scales?
They're scales from a merfolk, definitely.
Okay.
They are possessed because they're scales of a supernatural creature possessed of supernatural potency. If they are used to create something, perhaps, that will lend it a magical property.
Can I make a necklace?
Oh, it'd be so cute.
If you so desire to spend some time trying to make one and pulling the magic out of the scales for that purpose. You could just make a necklace, string them together, or you can take a longer time to try and figure out how to, and then produce a specific magical effect with the aid of those scales. Or perhaps they might serve as a material component for certain spells you might acquire eventually.
I'll just string them together to make a necklace, save them
Okay.
in case of anything.
Just like snap off a shell, a scale when you need one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like those candy necklaces.
Yeah.
I can go for a candy necklace.
And
Sorry,
the
what
wizard
else?
hat.
You know, the wizard hat definitely is a magical item. Specifically can be used by a wizard as an arcane focus.
Put on my wizard hat and robe.
Sorry. It's Robin hat. But
Oh,
that is an
okay.
old meme right
It
there.
is a very old meme. Oh my
But
lord.
appropriate.
classic.
Huh?
But appropriate.
Okay. And what do I know about my own, about the spyglass and the green feather?
The green feather you believe to be the feather of a magical beast of some kind, but you don't know which magical beast.
Okay.
And you know the spyglass that's just some trippy stuff right there.
Okay. So, and that's what I know.
That's what you presently know.
Okay, cool. So,
You think you need a longer time to study this to do so, but
Okay.
you've accomplished this as you are just
all right.
as the the unnamed owlbear that belongs to the guardian continues to lumber pulling your small cart as you rest upon its soft fur /down.
Aw, you sound so cute. Anyway, okay, so we're
Owlbears are generally cute, except for the time that other owlbear was harrowing you guys in the night.
Was that an owl bear?
It was an
It was
owlbear.
an owl bear.
Oh my god, I need to take more
But-
notes.
Gabby took care of it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Is that Carl? Oh, Carl, welcome back.
What?
Why did you
Carl's
name
back.
Carl?
Carl?
Yeah, the crow. He brought back the
Yeah.
little
Her-
magic.
I don't
Eris
get
is
it.
familiar.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
Wait, I don't remember him.
Yeah, me
leaving.
either.
She used the spell to summon a familiar,
Yeah.
and it's still there.
He was out somewhere.
Oh,
he brought
the,
the.
the crow from the battle? Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
No, he's hanging forever. He's my pal. He
Yeah,
brought
totally.
back the music box.
Gotcha.
I have
Oh,
that
right.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh my
Keep
god.
showing up.
Keep bringing them back.
Hmm.
Okay.
I love crows. Anyway,
Anyhow,
so we lumber onward, I guess, to my
lumber onward
town.
for about a day's journey in the Fey Wild until you actually come to not a pressed but well-trodden path into the high grass and fields. To the ways and north of you, you see a familiar set of standing stones, the same stones you saw when you were leaving Southgate. And in fact, you can see the shoreline now as the forest breaks to one side. And in the distance, you can see the far-off cliffs of the coast, as well as the ocean where it is low, where the city would be. But the landscape looks familiar, but overgrown, and there is no city at all.
Or so we think.
Well,
Do we get a map of the Fey Wild, or is there one?
not presently. Just
I'm like, well,
assume
I'm so lost.
like the Fey Wild is like this place that is a mirror of the material world.
Okay,
And
cool.
except
It's like the upside down.
some things
That's
might,
fine.
except some things might not be there. There's two places that are like that.
No. I totally get you. Light world, dark world. Got it.
Mhm, yeah. And the Fey Wild is the light world. And there is, of course, a place called the Shadowfell,
Of course.
which is the dark
Of course, like you do.
world. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you do.
So just when we get there, I drew this beautiful map.
Cool.
Just FYI, because I needed to visualize it.
And perhaps that visualization will be a bit more refined and on the screen for you right now.
Who knows? Will I finish it? We'll find out in a couple weeks. Anyway.
You'll know
okay.
as soon as we do.
All right. So, I mean, I think at this point I can tell we're
Yeah, you
in
know,
my
yeah,
village,
you
right?
know the path goes from
Yeah.
the path that's ahead, that's crossing your way right now, goes from the standing stones, which are a planar portal area, to one of the two halves of the village.
Okay. So I need to go through those to get to the village, though, right?
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
once you find that trade depot, you can get to the actual village. We're going to talk now about this village of Brina's Roots, a forest gnome village in the middle of this supernatural world in the realms of the Fae. It's actually separated into two large areas. One is the actual village, hidden from view in and among the trees of this forest. The other, a manually cleared area with a manor of stone and wood, erected with a large field before it that serves as a small planar trade depot and flea market of sorts. So there's the place where the gnomes live, and the place where some of the gnomes work with travelers, which I imagine you describe to the others as you're going.
Yep.
Excitedly, perhaps.
I described to them. I'm so good at D&D.
We're doing fantastic today.
It's great, guys. It's pretty great.
Entering the cover of the woods, the path is literally just pressed by a lot of foot traffic, so it's a dirt path rather than anything more fancy. But it's even enough and just strolls through the woods as you direct the large owlbear down it. Eventually, through the tree line, you can see small plumes of chimney smoke and the sound of bustling, at least a large number of people. And eventually, not long after, as the afternoon wanes, because for whatever reason, the day seems oddly long as you've encountered the strange way time passes within the Fey Wild.
It's all good, girl. A magic watch there?
You can get one later if you so desire.
Yeah.
Wait, don't I have something? Wait.
Do you have a magic watch?
Do I?
Or
I don't think so.
I thought I had a puzzle.
I feel like you had a
Oh, wait.
Right? No, I don't see anything on here, but I swear I did.
Technical difficulties.
No, it's
No,
fine.
it's fine.
Continue,
Reading your
continue,
sheets.
continue.
um,
No, I don't.
the tree,
Oh, you did too.
coming around a bend, the trees part, and you are left with this field that was described to you, and it is just that. There is, at the back of this large field, a 3-story manor of stone and wood with glass windows. Fancy.
Beautiful.
And before it is a large spread of spaces for tables, carts, and temporary buildings, or half-temporary buildings, like large tent lean-tos and such. And the marketplace is a bustle, with gnomes, figures casting the same stature as Gita, and other creatures, if I may so describe. You see
may.
one. Hmm?
You may.
You see one particularly large gathering of figures around a temporary forge on the back of an iron wagon, where a figure made of bronze and wreathed in flame, with the stature similar to a dwarf, bangs a flaming hammer against black metal, while others are blowing glass. There are figures of unusual shape and size in long robes. At least there's a figure at least 15 feet tall with a tapering thin body and long blue robes, with horns another foot higher from the cap of their head, with large dark amber eyes, just kneeling down, picking through a table of small craftware as being presented by some gnomish individuals. There stands before an array of weapons on one table a pair of individuals with ruddy skin and heavy amounts of fur coming down around the sides of their face and on the backs of their hands, visible underneath their military armored appearance. One more berobed, looking like a mage, the other more like a captain of battle with a tunic draped over their armor. Both of them hobgoblins. Not quite as big as bugbears, but human size. Imagine goblins are the halflings and gnomes of the goblin physical hierarchy. Hobgoblins cast similar shapes to humans, dwarves, and elves.
Okay.
But the banner on the tabard one wears is that of a pink figure with a crystalline orange a pink circle with a crystalline orange eye over a smiling toothed maw. And of course, there are several other odd things. Other small fey creatures with muted or ugly features just darting around.
Straight up
That's
ugly.
very judgmental of you.
I mean, specifically
rude.
by standards that the Fae specifically say, these like creatures like with smaller than a halfling or gnome, with kind of shrunken, spindly bodies, but a real bulbous head with craggy, sharp, and at some points flopped features. Just kind of milling about, looking at things, and then it bamfs into a puff of smoke popping out over another table to look at the wares over there. There are small figures, perhaps a little bit taller than the two of you, that are still that are still very lithe looking, but with long white hair, muted facial features, and sharp dress clothing, like jerkins and brightly colored vestments and jackets, but they don't stop moving, and they are practically blurs of themselves as they move around constantly, seeming unable to stop. You know these, Gita, as the little tiny ugly things that bamf around as boggles. And the other things as quick
Boggles
things.
for mine.
You know them as specifically fey creatures.
Boggles, little movie guys. Done.
And the other ones were?
Quicklings.
Quicklings?
That's a very creative name.
They are fey creatures who have been cursed to never stop moving.
Oh, that's so sad. Never
And
stop.
among that, you also see a few. You see also a few humans of esoteric and foreign dress, with certain definitive supernatural air about them, from far off lands that might not even be on the material plane, perhaps. You see at least one figure in very esoteric clothing. To we, the players, would recognize it as a modern suit, but on a figure that looks human but is moving with a certain stilt to their motions, and she has cuts a feminine figure in the suit, has clear stitching around wrist and in the individual fingers, as well as stitch marks on parts of her face that seem to be covered with makeup that has muted in the sunlight of this place. Just slowly looking over things on tables and various wares being sold. Besides the manor, there is on the side of this large clearing area, this little bazaar, there is a small one-story building that is half canvas tent cover. It looks like a temporary inn and eatery for the less than small-sized folk. But these various figures crowd the marketplace as you've come up and having arrived somewhere. The owlbear who you've been riding shakes its shoulders a little bit and unhooks itself from the small cart it's been dragging and lowers its head for you to get down.
Aw. That's
Get
smart
off.
boy.
Tell you stop.
Wow.
It hoots a few times
Oh.
at this.
Uh-huh.
Do you remove yourself from the owlbear, or
What happens if we just stay on? Just kidding, I'm not gonna do that.
Do you want to find out?
No, not really.
its head turns up and spins 180 degrees to look at you, and just goes, quirks its head a little bit from that, and just goes,
Yeah, okay, we'll go.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we all jump off. I jump off for sure.
I fall off.
You just like step down. Like,
As the three of you kind of slide off the owlbear, it turns back toward not even the path itself, but just right back into the woods and just lopes off.
Okay.
bye.
Bye then.
No, it unhooked itself.
Oh, is the card ours?
Well, the carts, you bought the cart, so now it's yours.
Oh my god. Mm-hmm.
You spent silver on that shit
Oh yeah. Oh, we have to carry it now though, don't we?
for the time being.
Yeah.
But as the three of you are situating yourselves, you hear someone call out, Gita?
Is it Fibblestim?
Excuse me?
What?
And
Fibble who now?
you,
My brother? Duh. Yeah.
you turn at the sound of the voice called and questioningly, and you see a gnome that stands about even height with you, wearing heavy leather gloves and a leather apron over what would be fine clothes if they had not been a bit soot-stained or burned and frayed in a few spots. It is your elder brother, Fibblestim,
Yay!
holding
Well,
with,
I don't need your judgment on his name, all right? I don't want to hear that from you.
holding in his hand a long,
Exactly where I was going.
holding in his hand a long glass blowing pipe.
Yay!
As he walks away from the iron cart set up and tended to by those flaming dwarves made of bronze.
All right, well, much like I just did, I
Oh my
assume
gosh,
Gita
I'm
would
sorry.
yell, Fibblestib! And I run to try to go with the weeb term, glomp him.
Are you
Just
sure
like grab on.
She yells out the whole name and not some stupid nickname?
Oh, I
That
don't
is
know.
the full first name.
Yeah.
No, that's what I mean. Like, she yells out his full name and not like, Phoebe!
Oh, God. She probably would have a nickname. That's a good point.
You take your time.
Oh, no, I don't think well on my feet. Okay.
What's
Yeah,
his name?
Fibblestib.
It's not the Fibble Stibbler?
No.
I think Fibby's good, or
Stibby.
Stibby. Stibby's good. All right.
Stib.
Stibby!
Well, if you do a tackle hug, your brother manages to catch you.
Oh, yay. With that,
Big
like,
brothers
very...
And not
What was
get-
that grimace? Like, you just went, ugh.
and not fall over into the small cart behind him he is carrying, full
Yep.
of glass baubles.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
That's definitely me. Almost
There's that
backslash
grimace
together.
is on his face as he realizes he has been impacted upon and rights himself.
Yay!
What are you doing home so soon? Mother said you would be probably out of town for weeks at best.
I'm counting on it.
How long have I been? I've only been away for like a week, right?
Less than at this
Oh
point.
my god.
What?
I
Feels
guess
like
so.
an eternity.
Wait,
I
no,
know.
how did we just? But it took days. And then we were there. in
Well, no,
days.
actually, no. It would have at this point been just about a week because of the
Yeah.
extra days in the Fey party.
And
Yeah.
then we traveled back. And
It feels like forever.
Sure does.
Oh.
Oh, and you friends with you.
Yeah,
Hello.
these are.
Hi.
He says as he sets you down, kind of like squarely at the shoulders,
Yeah.
so you're on balance.
Okay, well.
And, good afternoon and good tidings to you. I am Fibblestib Lundor. And he gives a smart, curt bow, as he seems rather reserved and not as energetic as Gita has in the past.
This is your brother?
Can't you tell?
They have similar facial features for certain, but his demeanor is much calmer.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, okay.
He just takes off the heavy leather gloves he was wearing and tosses them over his shoulder into the small carriage, wagon cart he was pulling.
Okay, I'm gonna offer my hand. Okay, hello, I'm Eris Briarwood of the Briarwood Briarwood.
Hello, I'm Dina Alexander of the New York Alexander.
Of the Briarwoods.
Of the Briarwood Briarwood.
Okay. I'm going to mark that down real quick. And
You're
he
serious about that?
and he responds with what you can only imagine is an equal noble deference as he takes your hand and does the proper bow and seems to comport himself with impressive composure.
Oh my.
As he also then afterwards, afterwards he takes off the apron, revealing the clothes underneath are of decent quality, but just worn from whatever activity he's been doing, and just folds the apron and puts it on the cart as well.
I smack him real hard on the back and go, "Oh, Stibby, you're always so formal."
It's Stibby.
Stibby's pretty good.
He grimaces at that.
Stibby.
And he just briefly searches his eyes toward the two of you to gauge your reaction to her behavior. And shares a sympathetic, quiet look on his face that Gita cannot see because he is beside him.
Oh. God, I love
As if apologizing for the existence of his bloodline.
Fibble Stib like that?
Fibblestib, yeah, cool. Fibblestib. What a name.
Well,
Stibby.
what brings
Stibby.
you back to town so soon? And please, I'm in the middle of the open air market. You must be tired from your travels. By owlbear, it seems. Was that the Guardian's owlbear?
Yes.
Of course it was.
I've had a long week, brother. Oh my god, let's go back home, you guys. It's awesome. Let's go back home.
Sure, I was just bringing this cart back as well. Well, please, let's away. And the three of you turn away from the small bazaar and manor, and as you walk away, you notice, at least Eris, you finally pick up on it after you're standing in the bazaar for a little while, that manor, that three-story manor, you figure if you were standing right in front of it, you'd be looking in the middle of the second floor window.
Oh, everything's so tiny. Okay. I'm a snoop.
Yep, you're going to snoop now?
I'm a snoop.
You're just going to cross the
is.
bazaar and just take a look at the manor?
Just as we're leaving, just
You're just looking around?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you pass by the manor pass by close-ish to the manor to get by, but it's a very well-to-do looking manor. It's kind of surprising. It's just in the middle of this magical woods.
anybody guarding this?
Well, there are a few small figures of, there are a few
Jesus.
small gnomish figures with pikes.
Okay, that's it.
That's it.
We're coming back here later. Okay. And we leave. It's fine.
And Gita, you remember whose manor that is, in fact, as that of a family friend.
Why, that's old Badger's house.
Can we stop by for tea later?
I mean, they were, wait a second. He was good friends with my dad, so I'll see what I can do. But for now, why don't we go to my house?
All right. Sounds good.
I'll show you guys my room.
Oh my gosh, she keeps going on about her room.
All right.
This better be a good fucking room.
And as they head off into the woods, we're going to take a break so you can get some refreshment, take care of any facilities you need to, or just try and chat with one another, and we'll be right back.
Yay.
Can I have some more?
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back for Dansu and Dragons. We are back. Hope you had a wonderful break. We had a wonderful short break. It was just me turning the timer off and turning it back on. Well, how about, wait, I'm going to look towards this direction. Hey, chat moderating Mike, how was your short break? Wait for it. I probably respond with something cute and clever right now. I bet I did. Or someone has mocked me, and I've made a fool of myself.
Probably me.
That's future Mike's problem.
Maybe that's what we can use the green screen for. Oh my God, you should take a video in front of the green screen where you're the good Mike and then the bad Mike, and you can put yourself on the shoulder. Anyway. Sorry, that got weirdly off track.
We're getting into Army of Darkness territory of absurdity, and I love it.
All right, sorry, continue.
Goody little
I'm going to be real, I just want to see that. Not necessarily for this, I just think that'd be hilarious.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Continuing. After leaving the bazaar behind without really exploring it, you are led by Fibblestub into the woods, completely ignoring any paths, while crossing across the path used to come in, and just marching straight into the woods. It seems here his steps and those of Gita barely disturb any of nature around him, leaving no footprints in the forest floor or grass that they cross. At some points, you think some of it is illusory, and as the four of you travel...
They're illusories, all right.
What?
Losers.
Okay,
Illusory.
all right.
And as the four of you traverse this place, I need the two of you to give me intelligence saving throws.
Which one's my good one? You know, we'll break in the new ones.
Yeah.
No!
Oh,
It was 15, and then it rolled over to 7. Fuck off. That is bullshit.
18.
18? Yes. All right. Well, you see that this forest is in fact covered with illusions, and you begin to disbelieve them as you can see where the clipping is happening. Yeah. And note that
JPEG artifacts.
as you are walking through this woods, it's hiding in a well-walked pathway and a number of other signs that let you think that there is pretty much a village here. In fact, ahead, you see a village square where the trees have been magically shaped around homes or as homes, with windows and doors into the trees directly. And they are massive freaking trees, as well as a small little spring in the middle of the forest that's got a well hook set up next to it, but itself was being illusorily disguised as a small apple tree.
Well, this is nice.
And Venus, at the moment, you see nothing. It's just a forest.
You
Well, you just see supernaturally natural forests all ahead until you get to the square and until you get to this place, and this entire square just blooms into existence around you.
The fuck just happened? Ember's got a mouth on her.
I've learned a lot of words in my reading.
Oh.
Fibblestub looks, magic. Illusory magic.
Oh, I keep forgetting you guys are mortals. Okay, sorry. Not mortals, sorry.
Yeah, because technically you're immortal as well.
Yeah, but you know,
From the prime.
from the, mortal plane. Or whatever. Sorry about that. Gita doesn't say that because she would be sad. What?
You could have warned us.
So think about
And
it.
Fibblestub leads you across the square.
Fibblestib.
Dib, thank you. I named this guy. I don't know why I forgot that. It's like Sverfneblin and Sniffleburger all over again.
Oh, it's not even that funny. I'm sorry.
No,
All right.
it's hilarious.
Yep.
Sniffle
Anyhow.
bourbons.
Who's now an NPC in the story.
Anyway,
Who will
okay.
be seen again someday soon.
Sniffle
All
bourbons
right.
return.
Now that you're done disrespecting my brother's name.
Oh. He leads the three of you, well, he doesn't lead you because you know the way, to one of the large, tall trees in this place. Like, there is like a short shaped wood staircase, like going up to this large for gnome double doors into the base of this tree. And it's tall, it's wide. There are multiple windows here and there. There are even windows in some of the thicker branches.
Wow.
Is that my house?
Yes, that is your family's
Is that your
home.
house?
It is noticeably
Yes.
larger than several of the other habitated trees, or at least several of the other lived-in trees have multiple doors at multiple levels.
And you didn't want to lend me 2 gold.
I don't have 2 gold.
Rude.
I'm trying to make it on my own out here.
Fibblestub goes around to the side of the tree and opens up a pair of doors, basement doors on the side, and lowers the cart into it carefully to make sure none of the glass fixtures on it shatter. As clearly from his gear and the things he was carrying, looks like he's a glass blower.
Sure
What an
is.
honorable profession.
Well, he says, it started as a hobby, really. I'm a bit idle with my time, and I thought it best to pursue something, expressive at least.
Do you have some stuff you could show us?
You know, I would, but I think first I need to let Mother and Father know that Gita's back.
Mother and father.
Mother and father.
Mom and Dad are here?
I think they should be. And he goes up and takes out a small key from his pocket and opens up the large double doors up the stairs. Well, large for a gnome. You still have to, duck.
Oh, no. Like Mike was saying on the way over here,
Womp
this is
womp.
basically like a Gandalf situation.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Picturing.
Hopefully we don't have too many chandeliers.
In fact, you don't. As the flooring on the inside of this tree is really economically done for space. Like, they don't have a grandiose entry hall, just a comfortable, not comfortable for you, entryway with stairs going up on either side around the interior curve of the tree. And it looks darn fancy for the inside of a tree. A living tree that is also a house.
I'm still mad. You're paying for the next inn.
I'm trying to make it on my own, okay? I don't want to take advantage of my family's money. I can do it myself.
And I thought you'd have done it for yourself for a bit longer. I'm surprised you're home, says a voice coming down the stairs. And in company. As you see a woman who casts a very familiar, has a very similar face to Gita, is descending the stairs in a bit more conservative a dress
That was a bit
with
like
green leaf patterned shawl over her shoulders.
pretty. That's the kind of passive aggressiveness that only mother can have.
I was preparing for that. Gita, welcome home. Your mother, Oda Lundor, offers as she comes to the bottom of the stairs and regards and introduces herself and then asks after who are your friends.
Well, I run up the stairs and hug her, obviously, which I assume she is not a big fan of.
No, she actually does hug you back.
Aww.
It doesn't grimace.
Doesn't grimace. It's a low bar to set. All right. Then I guess I run back down. and
So I'm just
introduce
imagining
her.
the patter, patter, patter feet going
Yep.
up, hug, patter, patter, patter feet going down, stand in line with your
Exactly.
friends.
You've got it correct.
Oh my god.
All right. I've had a long week, or mom. I said mom before. Mom, this is Aembron and Eris. We're best friends. I mean, sorry, this is just my face. Continue.
Oh,
I'm done.
have you joined Gita on her journeys to become a renowned musician?
Something like that.
Are you also musicians? She questions.
Oh, no.
Perhaps with a worried timbre, with a worried timbre to her voice.
Oh god, no.
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 I mean, I'm already in the group. We don't really need anybody else to do the music, but they're good at other stuff.
She Destiny Child us.
Wow. Okay.
Are you comparing me to Fey?
Your
Beyonce?
Beyonce.
Okay.
All right, I'm writing this down. Give me a second. Fiance. All right, continue.
You're welcome.
Then may I ask how you've all come together so quickly? Oh, I should be a more gracious host. Please join me in the parlor for tea.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
And she leads you into a room off to the side that is a parlor with a bit of a library in it,
Oh snap!
as well as, besides comfortable chairs and a little table that she gets some tea on, there's also a small work desk on the side with really nice looking like paperwork stuff and filigree and ink pots.
Can I casually walk by and take a peek?
Yeah, sure. If you're just investigating or looking, you can give me an investigation or a perception
look with
check.
your
I
eyes.
swear to God,
I'm
if you
just-
steal from my family,
Not
I'm gonna be
gonna do
so
that.
pissed off.
Well, I don't know. I only steal from the rich. So.
Well, that's nice, but
You don't
We're
know.
kinda
I'm not-
rich.
I don't
Oh.
know if that mercenary was the still.
No, bad people and rich people.
Listen, I'd call for your father, and your mother just offers. I'd
Sorry,
call for your
arguing
father.
again.
I'd call for your father to join us, but he is taking a lunch meeting right now at Bar Manor. That's Old Badger's Manor.
oh, okay. Earth Bar.
That's the actual last name, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
Old
yeah,
Badger
yeah.
was a
Sorry.
nickname.
I heard Earth Bar.
Earth
I
Bar.
also
Okay.
heard
I
Earth
also
Bar.
heard that.
Earth Bar Manor.
So
Okay,
like
sorry.
ERF.
B-A-R.
ERFBAR. Yep.
Mhm.
Salt of the Earth.
Okay.
Okay.
We've had that problem though.
Yes,
so
we have.
Let's not do that
And-
anymore.
Yeah.
Oda makes some tea and serves it out to the all assembled 5 of you, as Fibblestub is joining as well. Fibblestib. I'm going to keep doing that.
Fibblestub.
Stibby.
Stibby. Yeah, Stibby.
And
Little Stibby.
after pouring the tea and setting up the comfortable space in this library, she questions, so how have you come to travel with my daughter, and what brings you back to Brina's roots?
Roots, plural. Sorry.
I think one of you should tell my mom the story. Ooh, or if you don't want to, I could tell the story in song.
My
You
head
are
hurts.
the storyteller.
I would enjoy to hear from your friends how you've come together. Your mother says through a broad and practiced
She
smile.
does not play games.
Family disappointment.
Well, if you recall my reason for leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny story. We were all in, it's Southport, right?
Southgate.
Southgate. I don't even remember anymore because we need to go back there.
Oh, yeah,
By
wait.
the way.
Eventually.
Also for
And-
notation, Fibblestib did stow your cart of goods in the same little basement area that he
Okay.
stored his in.
Cart.
Where did my printouts go of the map?
Our cart is in the basement. So we just all happened to be in Southgate, and hey, you want to take it over?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In my best fancy decorum.
Okay.
Fancy
Okay.
By
decor.
the way,
But
your home
I-
is
so-
lovely. I love all the books.
For that, I would
Nice.
like you to give me a charisma check or a persuasion check as you're presenting yourself. And because you are also, remember, afflicted by 2 levels of exhaustion,
Oh, no.
presently
right.
you have disadvantage on ability checks and your speed is halved. So you've been visibly kind of slow to move right now.
Okay, great, cool.
So I am going to be doing all the talking.
So
Great.
Unless you want to back her up a little bit and hype man her up.
Oh.
So that way she
Yeah,
could...
because Embron's so good at that.
Well, all you have to do is
Go.
just say you're helping her with this charisma check
Oh.
and to try and grant her advantage.
Oh, okay.
And then, instead of having disadvantage, she'll be making a straight roll.
I'll do that then.
Because advantage and disadvantage cancel each other out.
I'll help her.
Okay, you rub my back a little bit.
Okay. Oh, you got this, baby. You got. You
I can
do
do
it.
it.
boo-boo.
I can do
You do it.
19.
Hey!
Base
You're
19
welcome.
before modifiers or after?
Before.
Yeah.
Total?
Christmas.
Charisma? Don't you have high
Charisma or persuasion? Charisma is a part of persuasion, but if you're trained in persuasion, you get to use persuasion.
I do. Okay. 2.
So
21.
21.
Delightful. Are you counting cards?
What? No.
This whole
Okay.
time I'm
Maybe.
nervously looking between everybody, hoping they can all get along.
All right. Well, whatever you say it with proper deference, but please say it.
Okay. So we got in a bit of a kerfuffle.
Why did you start with that?
In Southgate.
Yep.
And
I don't remember.
I can't. I'm so bad at bullshitting.
Yeah.
She describes the scene.
Yeah.
She describes the adventure.
You
Without the danger.
Okay, you just recount that there was a kerfuffle. Gita helped, the three of you wound up helping each other
She
out.
was very brave.
This is why we're best friends.
And she rolls to disbelieve. No, she believes you. She was a little shocked at that.
And together we took down a mighty foe. And then we.
But it wasn't dangerous.
No.
It was fine.
No.
It was fine. We kicked its ass. Like,
And then we toured the city, and we've been adventuring ever since.
Adventure. She says that word specifically because she's listening to your story with rapt attention. She's like getting into your descriptions, the fact that you're using like proper like this protocol of nobility in your speech and deference in describing. But then when you say that you've been adventuring, she pauses. Adventure?
Oops.
well, it's been like an
I mean-
adventure.
Yeah.
It's not been an actual one.
Gita, have you been adventuring like your father?
I just make a sound like I just made. I wouldn't say that. No. It was all very safe. I played a lot of music. Do you want to
did.
hear
Just
some
a
of
lot
the
of walking.
songs?
She
No,
played
I
way too
bel-
much.
I believe you.
Okay.
I feel like I'm 16 years old.
Meeting my mom for the first time.
This is bad. I don't like it.
To be fair, I didn't warn you guys to like not.
Keep doing that. Please.
Oh, Gita, we can talk about this later. I'm happy to see you home. Are you staying long? She questions worriedly.
No. I don't know. We actually really need to be moving back to Southgate because we have some stuff we need to do. However, I think Eris really needs to rest a little bit.
Oh, the poor dear. You look like you need a bit of a respite.
I'm fatigued.
Well, then I suppose I'll have the guest rooms set up, and if you'd like to stay the night for dinner, that should be perfectly fine.
Dinner. That would be lovely.
Thank you.
Most gracious of you. Thank you.
Yeah, and she nods and then finishes her tea. I have some business to attend to back in town, so please avail yourselves of the comforts, or if you'd like to look around here at the bazaar, feel free to. Usually have dinner here at about sundown, and hopefully your father will be home, so we can just catch up on this as well. He's been a little bit worried lately about some business matters. Apparently a very important receipt has gone missing, she says to herself as she leaves.
Are you kidding me?
What? I'm sorry.
I don't have it anymore.
Oh.
I got rid of
You
it.
sure did.
What did you do?
Oh no, wait! I wrote that I have it. I didn't write that I got rid of it.
You did get rid of it, you just didn't notice
Get
the
rid of
receipt.
it though.
You did. She said, "Hey, let me bribe you with this
Yeah,
piece of paper."
Yeah, you did.
Oh no.
You hated that thing.
Oh god.
That was at Southgate
Yes,
with the guard.
yes, the guard that you ensorcelled briefly, who would then know as soon as the spell ended that her mind was clouded with magic.
Oh yeah, she's mad at me.
It's a good thing you can do the alias thing. You could.
Whispers.
What are we whispering about?
We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll get
it'll
there.
happen when we
Alright.
get there.
But she says that and leaves the parlor.
I'm pretty sure as she does that, all of our characters have the exact same reaction we just had. Oh no.
Okay.
And Fibblestib
He's
sits,
sitting there like,
sips his tea a bit and sets it down on the saucer. Adventuring, he says with a nod. So you've been bit by the same bug that got our younger brother.
well,
adventuring is a really strong word for it. It was like they said, it was like an adventure.
No, we were BSing for your mom. He's cool. What's going on?
Wait, I don't know what part you're talking about. The receipt?
The adventuring. There's some
Oh,
stuff
right.
that
What's going on
you're
with
not
your dad?
telling us.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys.
Stop doing that.
Fibblestib says,
It's very Gita, so it's fine.
our father made his fortunes as an adventurer. Came back down, settled down, married our mother, and got one of his adventuring friends to set up shop here and put together the mercantile depot. This was originally just a very small gnome village, didn't have much contact with the outside. We were, as I'm told, we were mostly all hiding from the world. Father came back and broke that all open, turned us into a small, plainer respite.
Yeah, you guys know that big house back there in the village area?
How can you miss it?
That was my dad's best friend. Bartleby's Old Badger Earth Bar.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, that's why I had to look it up.
Chemthorax!
Earth Bar.
Earth bar.
Anyhow,
Wait, so
last year, our younger brother, Eldon, stole away in the middle of the night with a few of Father's old things, saying he was going to head west into the material world and join a mercenary company to do what Dad did.
Gosh, I hope he's doing all right. Well, you can continue, brother.
We haven't heard back from him in at least 3 weeks since his last letter, which you missed, by the way. I have it upstairs if you'd like to review it.
Juicy gossip.
Perhaps
go.
when we're done.
Certainly. He says, and sip some more tea. So,
okay, so
Sip some more tea.
you're adventuring.
That's a strong word.
It's mostly been walking.
You came back into town on the Guardian's owlbear.
Oh yeah, I saw the Guardian. He's good now.
Nice guy.
Yeah, cool guy. Owlbear. It's really cute.
He nods.
So you said something about your dad adventuring and opening up the town, but you kind of made that sound like it was a bad thing.
It's a matter of some contention between the residents here. Some prefer the quiet life without any attention drawn to us from deeper in the Fey Wild. Some of the elders are disapproving of so many outsiders in the village. I'm not certain if you saw any of the eyes upon the two of you as I let us and Gita in.
no, I missed that.
No.
Many people are happy for the chance to get out into the world and be exposed to new things, but old fears from old foes. Fibblestib says. I'm all for it, frankly. Learning how to blow glass from the Azer. He says, citing the name of the metal dwarves made of fire. Or,
Was it dwarves? Cool.
well, they're not dwarves. They look like dwarves. They are made of bronze and flame. They're called Azers.
Cool.
They're
Hot.
elementals. Too hot to handle. And he just
Yep, it's awkward.
Yep, it's very
It's
awkward.
so awkward.
Well, this is pretty
awkward
realistic.
silences as we promised you, the viewer.
This is like getting a little too real.
It is.
Welcome to tabletop role playing. They can do that. They can get
Yep.
real and uncomfortable, like other situations from previous episodes.
Side question
good
as I'm
stuff.
just standing here. What's,
We're kind of like hunched over.
what's Peach's brother look like?
Yeah.
As I
Yeah.
As I described, he has
Half your height.
similar facial features to Gita, a definite amount of charisma, kind of soft face, at least with like a bit of a sharp nose.
Okay.
He works despite being someone who's in a position that's technically aristocratic, he works a very manual trade, and beneath the apron, at least, it shows.
He's hot.
For a gnome, he's got some shoulders.
I don't really want to hear this about my brother, but
And he did say he was a glass blower, so you know he's got lungs.
He's a creative.
Yeah, an artist. You could see all those sparkling baubles on the back of his cart. And this is a familiar
You can't
feature.
steal
Whenever
from my family, you can't bang my brother. Neither of those things.
has Gita caught on to this is happening? Because this is a question Erica has asked the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, probably not.
Yeah.
This is me.
Okay.
You can't bang my theoretical brother.
You don't know what's happening inside my brain.
Can I
right
see
now.
the way she's looking at him?
Kind of the way she
What
said it.
is your
Everyone
passive-
noticed
that's
it.
like-
what's your passive perception?
Oh God.
I don't know. Where's that?
And
10.
Erica, 10 is your passive perception?
Yeah.
Okay, Erica, since Eris is pretty much defined as a serial creeper,
Kind of.
Oh, but I pick up on all this, don't I?
are you
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
are you actively doing the proper means of rubbernecking to do this gauging? Are you actively like hiding what you're doing? Or are you being blatant?
No, I'm really being blatant.
Okay. Well, with that 10 then, you don't notice even though it's being blatant.
All right. That's
Though
fine.
Fibblestib is, because you're looking straight at him, and he's talking to the three of you, is aware of the appraising eye. I mean, he's like... and sips his tea.
Oh God.
Okay. Okay.
I don't like where this is going.
I don't either.
But on the bright hand, on
You
the
think
bright
I
side, on the
I am
bright
so
side,
sorry.
Erica, you're really getting all you really wanted out of this D&T.
Yes, I really am.
See, normally it's the bard that tries to bang their way across the continent.
No, I've actually tried to bang surprisingly few characters.
You've asked
Yeah,
about
that was
people,
like
you've
the
asked
first
about
thing you wanted.
characters.
Yeah, it wasn't the first thing I wanted. It was not. That's the first thing I wrote, but that's
How
not
much?
why.
No, she's a bard, so she's more of a romantic about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's looking
Thank
for the
you.
great story and the great love.
Yeah.
Which this ain't.
No. Oh God.
Settle down.
Oh yeah, Venus, Aembron totally notices.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Just trying to concentrate on the books. Look at all the books. Look at all the books. Oh, I have that one. Oh.
Okay.
Actually, if your character's actually saying that, then I say, oh, go for it, or whatever the Fey Wild.
Cool.
equivalent
I'm
is.
going to get out of the middle of this awkwardness and go check out one of the books.
All right, there are plenty of books. What are you looking for?
I have no idea. Just I'm not trying to be about anything right now.
Just go grab
I
something
am
off the shelf?
distracting myself.
Oh, if you find a nice spell book,
All right.
pass that over.
No.
You need to rest.
I'm going.
Really,
Hey, can
just
your
I'm
brother
really
show me
just
the
gonna
guest
look at
room?
all the spines of the books and just
Okay.
see what they have.
Yeah, sure.
Out of
Why don't
curiosity.
you take her to the guest
A
room?
few, quite a few are, a majority are are written in common. A majority are written in common. The next most common writ on the spines is in Gnomish, and
That's fair.
a few of these books are large, heavy books bearing dwarven runes, and at least 2 books are thin, delicate things covered in Elven script. Most of the books in common are books of history and economics and trade. A large section of books by the desk seem to be ledgers of some kind, including a similar ledger is closed on the desk presently. And the Elven books are just really old-looking books that are actually in little glass boxes on the bookshelf.
Okay, so they're not accessible.
Oh, you could try.
Oh no, that's okay.
Okay. Because,
Because they're there for a reason.
yeah,
Aw,
elves
so
vanished
respectful.
long ago. And these are probably like rare things.
So I can still check out the side and read what it
yeah.
says.
Since you can read Elven, and you can see that one of the sides is basically is called the Schism, an academic review of the breaking between the elves, the Eladrin, and the Drow.
Okay, I will get that from you on the break.
Okay. And the other book is a book on Elvish fencing.
Ooh.
I hope you'll read us a bedtime story.
And other books are just as described. A few books on Gnomish books on alchemy.
Like, okay.
A few books in common in Gnomish on just literally just the art of war and combat, or combat manuals or books on the nature of evocation and transmutation magic, but not necessarily spell books themselves. And that is what's in this library.
What about the dwarven books?
The dwarven books.
Which I can also read that.
Oh yeah, the dwarven books, if as you translate their covers, seem to be a couple about history, and one specifically about the exodus from Rankmar.
Cool.
So much more recent history. And like books about dwarvish law and clan trade rules, stuff like that.
Cool. Thanks.
And while that was happening, what did you just say to Fiddlestick while that was happening? Or did you, was that whole restroom exchange like a thing that just happened, or
Restroom?
Excuse me?
What?
you need to rest?
Yeah.
Oh, restroom.
Oh,
Okay.
room
Just
for
like-
rest.
You
The
would-
guest room.
I thought you said rest. I'm sorry.
No.
Certainly, I can show you Fibblestib says as he sets his tea down and leads you towards the door of the parlor.
Oh, but first I try to get from her the her necklace so I can try to like analyze the magical properties a bit more. Thank you.
The mermaid scales?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Well, as you are led off out of the parlor, we are going to end today's session. We thank you all for joining us today.
Yay!
All right.
My house.
Usual Twitter notations here. Everything else. See everyone in 2
Here.
weeks. Thank you for
Maybe
joining us
here.
tonight.
Maybe
We're
over
sorry
here.
we weren't a very action-packed session,
Nope.
but I think things happened today.
Things did happen.
Oh my god.
Eris hit on my brother.
You're secretly loaded.
I'm secretly, well, I guess. My family's rich.
Yeah, books.
Books.
I make it on my own.
See everyone in 2 weeks.